Wah, 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 was all I was hearing. You know, like the adults talking in the Charlie Brown movies. Yeah, my hearing of actual words stopped about 5 minutes ago. Now, the sounds I was hearing were beginning to become drowned out by a roaring as the blood was rushing to my ears in severe anger. I felt my knuckles getting white as I began clenching my fists that were laid on the table. Staring at my wife's face across the table, I could see her mouth moving as she was attempting to explain what she had just told me, but I was no longer actively listening to her. Perhaps I should start from 15 minutes ago. I had just walked in the door after getting home from work on a Friday evening. I was looking forward to grabbing a soda and settling down to begin enjoying the weekend with my wife. Well, you know what they say about best laid plans. I actually did get the soda. My wife had it sitting on the kitchen table for me as I walked in the door. As for the rest of my plan, not so much. Then, there were the dreaded 5 words. Honey, we need to talk. Okay, before getting into the meat of this story, I should probably tell you a bit about myself and my wife. My name is Robert Bader, no relation to a former Supreme Court justice. I'm 28 years old, have a good job working for an IT consulting firm. I have a master's degree in computer science. I'm 5'5", weigh approximately 205 lbs, brown hair and eyes, and keep fit by daily visits to the gym and a 5-mile early morning run. I have been told that I have a handsome face as well. My wife's name is Idella, but she typically goes by Ida. She's 2 years younger than me, 5', tall, curvy, but in shape. She goes to the gym about 3 times a week. She has blonde hair down to just past her shoulders, blue eyes, toned legs, and a nice figure. Yes, she's beautiful as well. We met at a party in college. Her name at the time was Idella Masters. She was getting her bachelor's degree in accounting while I was already a year into my master's degree. We had hit it off right from the start and dated through the rest of college. We were married about a year after graduating. I should mention that she sometimes would neglect to fully consider all of the ramifications of some of her decisions. This was especially true if there was something that she really believed that she wanted. Case in point, she had a bit of feminist in her. So she didn't want to just blindly take my name when we got married. She was insisting that she wanted to do one of those hyphenated last names. You know, where it is her maiden name, then a hyphen before the husband's last name. Something like Scott Pruitt or Rodham Clinton. You get the idea. Whenever I tried to discuss this with her and tell her what a supremely bad idea that was, she would get defensive and accuse me of being misogynistic and trying to take away her identity. She would throw out other women who did it and were very successful. She would talk about several of her friends that did it without any problems. She would rant on and on about how it forced the women to take on the last names of the husband as a way of subjugating women. I tried to explain that was not the case here. I had no intention of trying to subjugate her. Finally, I just sat her down, wrote out the hyphenated name, and had her read it 5 times. Then, if she still wanted to use that name, I would not object any further. Ida Masters Bader. The idea was suddenly dropped, and she dropped her maiden name for my last name. I did tell you that she is a natural blonde, didn't I? So, here we were. We had been married for almost 5 years. We didn't have any children yet, but we were beginning to start working on it. We were talking about starting to get her pregnant on our 5th anniversary that was just over 2 months away. Now that brings us back to the beginning of this sad tale. Soda in hand, sitting at the table across from my wife, 5 dreaded words spoken, and my anger was building. I just want to try something a bit different for a month or so before we have children. I need to get all of this out of my system before I have to settle down and become a parent. Ida tried to explain. So let me see if I have this straight. You want to go out and spend time with other guys while still married to me. You want to have fun and connect with other guys, completely disregarding our vows of faithfulness. And you want me to be okay with that? Are you out of your mind? I almost yelled the last sentence out. Look, it's only for a month or so. I need to get these last few experiences before we start a family. Once this little adventure is over, I can settle down and be the loving, loyal wife for the rest of our lives. Not just no, but hell no. Robert, I've already made up my mind on this. This is something that I need to do. I'm not asking your permission. I'm just letting you know up front, so I don't betray your trust seriously. How is spending time with other guys not a betrayal? It isn't a betrayal if you know about it and it is out in the open. It's only betrayal if I try to hide it and keep it a secret from you. That's not what I'm doing. That's why I'm telling you up front. Besides, it won't be every night. It will probably only be Friday or Saturday nights, and then I will come back home in the morning. You won't have to worry about me being with anyone else. Oh, I'm sure that I won't have to worry about that because I will not be with you after the first time you go out on one of your outings. Where did this idea even come from, anyway? What made you think this was a good plan? Well, I've been talking to Susie about our plan to begin our family. Susie. Of course, you mean your coworker Susie? The one who has been divorced multiple times. You're actually taking advice from her when it comes to our marriage. Well, she said that I really needed to have these experiences before we started a family. This way I could fully embrace motherhood and be a dedicated wife without any regrets about missing out on anything. She explained. Well, it was clear that she was determined to go through with it, regardless of my feelings. I tried a few more arguments but was shut down each time. Okay, time to bring out the big guns. It's obvious that you are set on doing this, no matter how I feel. So when are you planning your first outing? I don't have a specific date yet, but Susie and I are planning to go out tomorrow night. All right, I am in no way approving of this, and I will not agree to any of it, but it is clear that my opinion doesn't matter to you. That being said, I will not be with you while this is happening. Be aware that this could have serious consequences for our relationship. There might not be a place for you here when you decide to come back. What do you mean by when I decide to come back? I told you that I'm not going anywhere. This is just 1 or 2 nights a week. We'll be together the rest of the time. No. I won't allow it. If you are so set on this, you will have to find your own place to stay. I don't care where you go, but you will not be living here while you are spending time with other guys. Don't be ridiculous. This is my home too. You can't just kick me out. Actually, I can. Don't you remember that this house belongs to my parents? They gave it to me just before we got married. It is my house. Maybe you should go live with Susie. Things were tense for the rest of the night and the next day. She tried to make me sleep in the other bedroom, but I insisted that the bed was just as much mine as it was hers, and I was going to sleep there. If she didn't want to sleep in the same bed as me, then she would be the one sleeping somewhere else. We pretty much avoided each other the following day as well. At about 8 o'clock, Ida came downstairs in her little black dress, stockings, and high heels. Her hair was done, makeup on, and her night-out jewelry. The only thing she had in her hands was a small purse. Forgetting something? I asked. No. I have my phone, wallet, and ID. I think that's all I need, she replied. What about suitcases, clothes, makeup, toiletries, etc.? I'm only going out for the night. What do I need all of that for? I'll be back before morning. Actually, you won't. As soon as you walk out that door, I'm changing the locks. I told you that you would not be living here while you insist on doing this. Don't be ridiculous. I know that you love me enough to let me do this. Well, obviously you don't love me enough to respect our commitment. If you walk out that door, you won't be allowed back in. Just as she was about to reply, a car horn sounded from the driveway. That's Susie. I have to go, but we will talk when I get home. What she didn't know was that I had installed some hidden apps on her phone while she was in the bathroom getting ready. I could now track her location, read her text messages, record her phone conversations. Well, I could even activate her microphone and camera without her knowing it. In fact, I activated her mic as soon as she left the house. It was recording her conversation with Susie as they were driving. I would listen to it later. Right now, there was work to be done. First order to business, replace the door lock with the new ones that I had bought earlier in the day. Next, move her car out of the garage and reprogram the garage door opener and remove her remote. Third, pack up all of her clothes, toiletries, and makeup into the boxes that I had gotten earlier. 2 hours later, I had all her stuff loaded into her car. Now it was time to listen to her conversation with Susie. God, he is angry. Well, I did warn you about that. He'll be mad for a week or so, but he'll get over it. Just make sure that you really impress him in bed for the next few days. Once he sees how much better things are, he'll start to accept the situation. Guys are like dogs. You can get away with just about anything as long as you reward them properly. They both laughed. I should probably describe Susie here. She is a 5 feet 4 inches lively person. She has long, flaming red hair down to her rear, emerald green eyes, angelic face, a body gained through exercise, slim waist, and a tendency to make mistakes in relationships. She has been through multiple divorces because of her unfaithfulness. This was impressive, because she was only 26 years old. Seriously, who gets divorced 4 times before they even turn 30? No, I never dated her, but it wasn't because of the lack of opportunity. She had made it more than clear that I would be welcome in her house anytime I wanted. I should also mention that this was not the first time that she had tried to talk Ida into doing something incredibly stupid. Usually, it tended to involve us in some kind of adventure or more with her. So far, I've managed to avoid all of them. I listened to a bit more until they arrived at the club. Trying to listen to anything in the club was a lost cause. There was simply too much noise to hear any conversations that were going on. Instead, I began doing some online banking as I watched her GPS position. I took half of the money in the checking account, paid off and canceled our joint credit cards, moved our entire savings into an offshore account that I had set up a couple years ago, and transferred about 70% of our investments into a separate account in just my name. I noticed that the GPS location on Ida's phone was moving, so I opened the mic on it again. Sure enough, Ida was talking, and I could hear an unknown male voice talking to her as well. Oh, my phone is going off. Hold on. Rustling, hi Susie? What's up? Hey girl. Did you leave with that handsome guy you were dancing with? Yeah, we're heading back to your place for some alone time. I hope you don't mind us using your spare bedroom for an hour or so. No problem, babe. I'll probably be there shortly with his friend as well in a little while. Have fun. I plan on it. I'll need to shower after we're done so I can go home afterwards though. I figured as much. I put some shampoo and body wash in the spare bathroom for you. Thanks. See you later. By this time, I had turned her camera on to see if I could get a look at the guy she was with. I only got a brief glimpse of him as she was putting her phone back. I wasn't overly impressed. About all I could tell was that he looked like he was in his late 30s, black hair that was thinning, and, based on his height as he was sitting, quite a bit shorter than me. I shut everything off as they were still driving. When I saw that they had arrived at Susie's place, I reactivated the mic and camera. I continued to listen until I heard them begin to move away from the phone location. That simply would not do. I needed her to have her phone in the same room so I could get audio evidence of her cheating. Video would simply be too much to hope for. Darn it. Unknown male, what's wrong? That's my husband's ringtone. So? Ignore it. I can't. I'll make it short and get rid of him, hi sweetie. What's up? Me, where are you, Ida? I'm at Susie's. We're just relaxing for a bit. Then she's bringing me home. I'll be back in a couple of hours. We just put on a movie, okay? I just wanted to make sure that you weren't getting into a bad situation. I'm fine. Stop worrying. I'll see you in a couple of hours. Me. Okay, guy. She must have had a bit too much to drink, because she never even noticed that I didn't use any terms of endearment or tell her that I loved her when I hung up. She also didn't recognize that I said goodbye at the end. Miraculously, she actually took her phone with her into the bedroom. I guess it was because she was walking there as she was talking to me. Even better, she set it up on a nightstand leaning up against a lamp. The camera had a pretty good view of most of the bed. I'm pretty sure that I would never be able to use this in court, but that really wasn't my concern at the time. I watched enough of the video to ensure that they were actually being close, then minimized the window and let it record. Well, if she wants to go out and be with other guys, I saw no reason for me to just sit at home getting frustrated waiting for her to return. You know the old saying, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Forget her nonsense. I'm going to go out and have fun too. More than that, I'm going to make sure she knows it. I spent the rest of the weekend doing projects around the house and working on an old truck that I was refurbishing. I have a 1972 GMC pickup that I got cheap a few years ago. I've been working on it for a while now. I put in a built-up 350 engine, replaced the old 3-speed manual transmission with a Borg-Warner Super T10 4-speed manual transmission, 12-bolt Posey traction rear differential, leather bucket seats, and a matte black paint job. All that was left was to finish installing the steel braided lines to connect the engine to the fuel, radiator, and vacuum fittings. Work kept me mostly distracted throughout the week. Also, since I didn't have to deal with Ida in the evenings, I was able to get the truck finished and ready for the road. I had also been in to see a lawyer and began preparing divorce papers. There was really no way out of giving her half of everything. Divorce laws in this country must have been written by feminist advocates. Let's face it, if you are a guy, you are at a disadvantage in the divorce. Cheating benefits women. The innocent husband who has been faithful and done nothing wrong ends up paying the unfaithful spouse to keep cheating around. There is only so much that a guy can do to protect himself. So Friday evening rolled around. My truck was cleaned and ready for an evening out. Showered, shaved, just a bit of cologne, I got dressed. I put on a nice new pair of Levi's black button-down dress shirt and my rattlesnake skin cowboy boots. It was time to treat myself, so I went to a nice steakhouse for dinner to start my evening. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but the T-bone, loaded baked potato, and vegetables were all excellent, as was the salad to start. Now, for the main event. Leaving the restaurant, I checked Ida's location. Sure enough, it looked like she and Susie had gotten to the club about half an hour ago. Time to put my plan into action. I had every expectation that this would completely annoy Ida. I couldn't help but grin as I parked a couple of spaces away from Ida's car. It looked like she was the designated driver tonight. That made my plan a bit easier, since I wouldn't have to worry about Susie leaving her stranded. Not that I was in any way worried myself. It was mainly that I was concerned that it might be a bit more difficult to get Susie to leave with me if she had been driving. I wasn't completely sure how comfortable she would be leaving her car keys with Ida. With the plan set, as well as a plan B in case Susie somehow developed a sense of right and wrong, I walked into the club. It wasn't hard to spot them. Susie. I didn't realize you would be here, I said as I walked up to their table with a drink in my hand. I had purposely waited until Ida got up to dance with some full-of-himself jock. Rob. What are you doing here? She asked nervously. Probably the same thing you are, I responded. Since Ida moved out, I thought that I would try this club out and have some fun this evening. Speaking of which, would you care to dance? I should probably let you know that Ida is here with me. And that's preventing you from having a dance with me how? Besides, since she isn't sitting here now, I can only assume that she is either in the bathroom or on the dance floor herself. Come on, you've never shied away from dancing with me before. Her worried look turned into a grin at that. Sure. Mir, I'd love to dance with you. We were out there for 3 songs before a slow number came up. I didn't even give her a chance to leave. As soon as the song started, I pulled her in and held her close. It had taken about 1.5 songs before Ida noticed me. I almost fell to the floor with laughter as her face went from astonishment to fear that I had caught her. She left the dance floor right after that song ended and went back to their table. Now, I saw her glaring at me with poorly hidden anger. Oh, you poor girl, I haven't even started to upset you yet, I thought to myself. Susie had nestled herself tightly onto me as we slow danced together. As I said earlier, Susie is gorgeous, so it didn't take very long to get excited and happy, if you know what I mean. It also didn't take her very long to know it either. She looked up at me with a big grin and began moving against me a bit more. When the song ended, I walked Susie back to their table. She invited me to join them, and of course I accepted. We paused on the way back to grab a waitress to freshen up our drinks. Being the thoughtful guy that I am, I had her put all 3 drinks on my tab. Robert, what the heck are you doing here? Ida hissed angrily. What do you mean? I'm doing the same thing you are. I'm out drinking, dancing, and having some fun. Is that not allowed? I replied. Don't try to play innocent. You're here to ruin my evening out. She spat. Quite the contrary, Ida. I had no idea that you would be here, remember? We haven't talked since you moved out. How would I possibly know where you would be? I just heard about this club from some people at work, and since you weren't around, I decided to check this place out and have a fun night of drinking and dancing. Are you telling me that it's okay for you to do that, but not okay for me? Because I've got to say, that's pretty hypocritical of you. With that, I turned back to Susie and began chatting with her. Ida sat there and fumed while I did my best to ignore her. I guess that she decided to try and make me jealous, because she did her best to dance with as many guys as she could. She also began dancing in a flirty manner. I was chuckling inside as I monopolized my time with Susie. Every time that I saw another guy make a move to come over and ask her to dance, I pulled her out onto the floor before they even reached the table. Pretty soon, no one even tried anymore, as it was obvious that we were together. A couple of hours later, I saw my opportunity. Ida was out on the dance floor, and Susie had been well prepared and willing. Breakfast was awkward, but to say the least. Apparently, we had woken Ida up. She was already in the kitchen when we came out. Coffee? Ida asked as I walked into the kitchen. That's okay. I can get it, I answered. I had noticed a little smirk on her face when she asked. She and Susie spoke a bit, and I talked with Susie. Apparently, Ida had eventually noticed that the 2 of us were missing and put 2 and 2 together. I think that she had expected me to take Susie to my place, and she was furious when she saw my truck in the apartment parking lot. She was ranting so much that the guy she was bringing home for the night jumped back into his car and left. Ida was glaring at me all through breakfast. I left soon after. I can be a real jerk when I am motivated. I was really motivated. Ida worked with a few very good-looking single women. I had met them a few times at her company events and parties that we had thrown. Of course, I had their contact information. I began contacting them. Over the next few weeks, I had convinced most of them to go out with me. Some of them were a bit concerned because Ida and I were still married, but since Ida would talk about her escapades at work and me assuring them that we were separated, they agreed. I began hearing that there was tension at work between Ida and Susie due to my little escapade. Soon, there was going to be tension between Ida and most of the other single women in her office as well. So yeah, I began dating Ida's friends and coworkers. I took them out for nice meals. I took them dancing. I took them to shows. Every chance I got, I made sure to show up where Ida was. That GPS tracking app and the voice and video app on her phone came in handy. I was also hearing that most of her coworkers that I took out were raving about their dates with me at work. She was still going out and bringing guys home with her. She and Susie were arguing more too. Me, I was having a great time. I was going out, dining, dancing, and having a good time. I was also entertaining myself listening to Ida rant. Ida, this isn't how it was supposed to work. Susie, what do you mean? Ida, he was supposed to wait for me as I was enjoying my experiences, then welcome me back so we could start our family. He wasn't supposed to be going out and be with other women. Susie, yeah, I didn't expect this either. So what are you going to do? Ida, well, I've had my fun now, and none of the other guys has made me feel as good as Rob can. Besides, our anniversary is coming up, and we have our plan to start trying for a baby on our anniversary. Susie, yeah, he definitely knows how to make a girl very happy. Ida, and what was your motive for bringing him here and being with my husband? Susie, hey, chill out, friend. Geez, you know that I've been attracted to him for a long time. What was I supposed to do when he came onto me like that? He made a big effort and got me excited. I couldn't help myself. Ida, but he is my husband. You could have shown a little respect for your best friend. Susie, okay. I'm sorry. Look, he hasn't even called me again. I doubt that we'll ever see each other again. Besides, it isn't me that you need to be mad at. He's been dating most of our single friends and coworkers. Ida, I can't believe those women are betraying me like this. It's time to reclaim what is mine. Susie, so, you're going back to him now? Ida, yes. I'll call him later and let him know that I'm ready to reconcile and start our family. I grinned as I listened to that conversation. She had no idea what was coming. It was time to start the final part of the plan. I called my lawyer and gave her the final instructions. Our anniversary was just over a week away, and I had preparations to make for an unforgettable celebration. Ida called later that day. She wanted to come home right away, but I refused. I told her that I had other plans that I had made, because I didn't know what her plans were. I also told her that I had been doing some work on the house, and I wanted to surprise her when she came home. I didn't want her to see it until everything was done. It was going to be part of her anniversary present. I may have given a couple of hints that she may have mistaken for one of the bedrooms being turned into a nursery. I never actually said that, but what she concluded was really not under my control. I finally convinced her that she could come over for her surprise on our anniversary. Boy, was she going to be surprised. All of the preparations had been made, and everything was finalized. It was Saturday evening, and the anniversary party that I had planned was well underway. I was having a barbecue and a pool party to celebrate. Ida didn't know that I had installed the pool over the last 2 months. That was only the beginning of the surprise. All of our friends and family were there, as well as a couple of other guests. It was just before 6 o'clock in the evening when the doorbell sounded. Right on time. That's what time I told Ida to be there. Obviously, she had seen the many cars in front of the house, so she had already figured out that we were having a party. She was still surprised as she carried her suitcases into the house. Okay, everyone. The guest of honor has arrived, I announced. Rob, what's going on? I thought that we would go out and have a quiet romantic dinner tonight, she said. Oh no, I explained. Today is a major celebration, and I wanted all of our families and friends to be here to celebrate with us. Oh, okay, it's just that this is a bit surprising to me. I was not expecting anything like this. Well, just set your suitcases down here. We will take care of them later. You're just in time for dinner. Being the guest of honor, you and I will be first in line, I told her. Ida quickly got into the swing of things and began enjoying herself. There was no talk of the last 2 months' activities. We ate, drank, and laughed. Dinner was finished and cleaned up. The lights in the backyard were on. Ida was very surprised by the pool and a few other changes I had made to the house. I had not shown her the upstairs yet. She had been hinting that she wanted to see what I had done, because she still thought that I had converted one of the bedrooms to a nursery. It was finally time to reveal the rest of the surprises. Everyone, can I have your attention, please? I have a few announcements on this very special day. I yelled to get everyone to quiet down and listen. The stereo was turned off, and everyone stopped talking and moved closer to hear. Okay, thank all of you for coming today. Now, I have a couple of announcements to make. First off, Ida, will you step over here with me, please? After she stepped beside me, I continued. First off, I want to let everyone know that yesterday was my last day at my job. The only other person that knows is my former boss. He was very understanding about it when I gave him a month's notice and explained what my plans were. I am announcing now that I will be starting my own consulting company. This will allow me more freedom to spend time with my family. Ida practically glowed when I emphasized the last word. As you all know, today is Ida and my 5th anniversary. What most of you don't know is that we have been planning to begin starting a family on this day. With that said, I want to give Ida a special anniversary gift to signify our relationship. With that, I subtly took a couple steps to the side and nodded to a red-headed woman at the back of the group. She nodded back and began moving forward. Idella Bader, you have been served, the woman said. What most of you don't know, I continued, is that 2 months ago, Ida told me that she was going to be going out and spending time with other people. She didn't ask if I was okay with it. She didn't give me a choice in it. She just told me that she was going to do it, and I couldn't do anything about it. Over the last 2 months, she has been living with her friend and spending time with different people. That is something that I simply will not put up with. In full disclosure, I have also been spending time with other people, but I started that after Ida had destroyed her wedding promises. Ida screamed. For your actions, I am giving you a divorce, so you can spend time with anyone you want. Rest assured it won't be me. Now, I told Ida that I was doing some remodeling of the house. I did that. You've all seen the pool I added and a few other things downstairs. I also repainted the master bedroom and installed a new, larger shower, as well as a jacuzzi tub in the master bath. I also tore out the wall between 2 of the smaller spare bedrooms to expand them into 1 larger bedroom with its own private bathroom. I did this for a very specific reason. While I was saying this, the same red-headed woman and a 10-year-old red-headed girl were making their way towards me. I want you all to meet my lawyer, DidSheReally, and her daughter, Simone. Tara is also a single parent. I met Tara 2 months ago, the Monday after Ida went to a club and took the first person home with her. Since then, we have gotten very close. While we haven't began officially dating yet, we both feel that there is something between us. Simone and I also get along very well together. Once the divorce is final and she is no longer working as my lawyer, we plan on being together. Her lease will be up soon after that, and Tara and Simone will be moving in with me. Turning back to Ida, Ida, as far as what to do with your suitcases, you can take them back out to your car. You are not moving back here. I told you that I would not put up with that, but you just charged forward and threw our marriage away. Bedlam. Ida was sobbing uncontrollably. Her family was yelling and screaming. Most of the friends made a quick exit. My family was sitting there stunned. Tara and Simone quietly went upstairs out of sight. They had prepared for this reaction and had agreed when I asked them if they would be okay with it. For full disclosure, Tara and I had not even hugged. True, we had gone to dinner, and I had spent some time with her and Simone at their apartment several evenings, but we agreed to hold off on anything else until my divorce was final. She had divorced her partner 5 years ago because she caught him cheating. She had gone out a few times after that, but never felt any spark. Eventually, everyone finally left. I'm not sure where Ida went to. I had deleted all of the spy apps that I had on her earlier in the day. I was no longer interested in what she was doing. Would it have been better handling it differently? Probably. Should I have not introduced Tara and especially Simone into all of this? Again, probably. Why did I do it this way? The simple answer is anger. I was angry at what Ida did. I also wanted to make sure that everyone knew that Ida had destroyed our marriage with her selfishness. I wanted to publicly make Ida feel the pain that she caused me. She had ruined the love that I had for her and made me hate her. I wanted her to feel that loss of love and the hatred that she caused. Yeah, I could have just had her served at work while she was still living with Susie. I could have just sent everyone a package with my evidence to their homes. I could have done a lot of things that would have been far more mature and a lot less painful for everyone. In the end, I did what I did. Epilogue: the tale concludes with a reflection on the journeys of its characters, each embarking on separate paths after a complex interplay of relationships and personal choices. Ida's decision to return to Susie was a temporary solace, a fleeting attempt at finding stability in the familiar after the tumultuous end of our relationship. However, the rekindling of old flames proved to be nothing more than a mirage. The hope for a renewed connection quickly disintegrated under the weight of unresolved issues and incompatibilities, leading to an inevitable separation. This outcome forced Ida to confront the reality of her situation, propelling her towards independence and the pursuit of a new life in her own space. Our sporadic encounters around town serve as a stark reminder of the complex web of emotions and history that binds us. The fleeting expressions that cross Ida's face, ranging from sadness to anger, speak volumes of the inner turmoil and unresolved feelings that linger between us. Our mutual decision to forego pleasantries is not just an acknowledgement of the awkwardness that pervades our interactions, but a tacit agreement to maintain a respectful distance, a gesture towards the healing process that both of us are still undergoing. The whispers of Ida's departure from the company through the grapevine reflect the deep-seated need to escape the shadows of a shared past. The decision to seek new opportunities elsewhere was not just a career move, but a necessary step towards emotional recovery. The constant reminder of our intertwined pasts, through the presence of individuals I had been involved with, became a source of unbearable stress for her, highlighting the intricate balance between personal well-being and professional environment. The strained encounters with Ida's family during casual outings are emblematic of the wider repercussions of our past actions. The silent exchanges, marked by scowls and avoidance, reveal the deep scars left on family ties and the collateral damage of personal decisions. These moments, though brief and nonverbal, underscore the lasting impact of our relationship's dissolution on the familial fabric, a testament to the far-reaching consequences of our choices. The narrative of Tara and Simone intertwines with the dissolution of my marriage to Ida, illustrating the complexities of relationships and the unexpected directions they can take. Ida's initial resistance to the divorce, juxtaposed with her eventual acquiescence, encapsulates the tumultuous journey from denial to acceptance. The manipulation of past relationships as a strategy to expedite the divorce process, while controversial, was a calculated move by Tara to bring about a swift resolution. The day the divorce was finalized marked not just the legal end of a marriage, but the beginning of a new chapter for Tara, Simone, and me, a step towards rebuilding on the remnants of the past. The overarching message of this narrative serves as a poignant reflection on the dynamics of human relationships. It delves into the consequences of our actions, especially in the realm of intimate relationships, where the balance between personal desires and the welfare of others is delicately poised. The moral, encapsulated in the adage, "what's good for the goose is good for the gander," serves as a cautionary reminder of the potential for actions to provoke equivalent responses, a cycle of cause and effect that can either heal or harm. This story is more than a recount of events, it's an introspective journey into the essence of human connections. It highlights the complexities of love, the pain of loss, and the relentless search for happiness. Through the experiences of its characters, it invites readers to ponder the impact of their choices on their relationships and the lives intertwined with theirs. It underscores the importance of empathy, communication, and understanding in navigating the intricate maze of human emotions and relationships. The narrative is a call to action, urging individuals to reflect on the repercussions of their decisions and to approach relationships with care, respect, and a deep sense of responsibility towards the feelings of all involved. Moreover, the story sheds light on the resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity and change. Ida's journey from the ruins of a failed relationship to the quest for independence and self-discovery embodies the innate human capacity to adapt and grow, despite the challenges that life presents. It speaks to the power of self-reliance and the pursuit of personal growth as pathways to healing and empowerment. The silent battles fought by each character in their quest for closure and new beginnings underscore the often unseen struggles that accompany the end of significant relationships. These battles, though personal and internal, reflect the universal challenge of moving forward, of finding meaning and purpose in the aftermath of loss. The story, in its exploration of these themes, becomes a mirror reflecting the myriad ways in which individuals cope with change, seek redemption, and strive for a sense of normalcy in the chaos of life. In conclusion, this narrative is a tapestry woven with the threads of human emotions, choices, and relationships. It's a contemplation on the fragility of connections, the enduring impact of our actions, and the unyielding quest for personal fulfillment and happiness. Through the lens of its characters' experiences, it offers insights into the complexities of love, the intricacies of human interactions, and the relentless pursuit of self-discovery and renewal. It serves as a reminder of the delicate balance between pursuing our desires and considering the well-being of those around us, urging us to tread the path of life with compassion, mindfulness, and an unwavering respect for the shared humanity that binds us all.